Challenging Paradigm X. What would happen if people would know at a young age what they are passionate about, and if they were enabled to think big? How can young people learn the skills of tomorrow and start to create a positive impact today? How can we make young people future leaders and change makers? There's a lot of people who talk about change, preach change, or even pretend to believe in change. And then there are the people and projects that actually initiate change. My guest today is Aneta Londa. She's the co-founder and chief buzz creator at Moonshot Pirates. Moonshot Pirates is a global education initiative working with people between 14 and 19. Anet's rule for life is to be brave enough to fail at something new and look for ways to contribute. Her goal in life is to empower young minds to turn their talents into solutions that matter. She's the mastermind behind the Moonshot Pirates brand, driving growth, marketing, and communications activities across all the organization's channels and programs. Moonshot Pirates is a global movement of future-oriented talents and young change makers that is fueled by fun and driven by purpose. And the founder's focus is on enabling moonshot thinking and entrepreneurial skills in young people while giving them the understanding where the world is heading at. So, if you're interested in finding out more, stay tuned. Hi, today I'm here with Aneta. Aneta, it's great to have you in my podcast. Please introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. First of all, it's really nice to see you again. I think the last time was right after TEDx Klagenfurt 2017, 18. I don't even remember. Yeah,
19,
so
yeah.
nice to see you again. 19 was it?
Yeah.
Okay, not that long ago. Yeah, I'm the co-founder and chief buzz creator at Moonshot Pirates, which is a movement that empowers young people to think big, to succeed on their own terms while creating a positive impact in our world. Bit about me, I'm originally from Czech Republic, but I've been living all around since, I don't know, I was 15, 14, and currently I live in and work in beautiful Vienna, Austria. And before I started Moonshot Pirates, I have worked mostly in events and marketing industry for different kind of organizations, from corporates to SMEs to nonprofits and NGOs. And I have been basically in leading roles with organizing and marketing events globally, ranging from corporate conferences, exhibitions, TEDx events, that's where we met, to hackathons for young people. And now, basically, as a chief bus creator, or in an or CMO, we use these fancy titles, all right? At Moonshot Pirates, I am responsible for driving growth across all of our programs and channels for basically the branding part, communication part, and marketing. And I'm, of course, always there to make sure that we stay true to our values as a company while we grow and innovate. And what we do with Moonshot Pirates, we are a global education initiative working with young people between 14 and 19. And with our programs, we are focusing on the future job market, basically helping young people to learn the skills of tomorrow, to learn the entrepreneurial skills such as creative thinking, complex problem solving, creativity, and so on. But not only that, not only the kind of these skills, but also focus more on the personal growth as an individual. So basically, the different programs that we run with Moonshot Pirates allow young people to experience the life of an entrepreneur and change maker for the very first time. So as an organization, our main goal, our main vision is to change the way young people grow up in our world, both personally and professionally. And we want to do that by providing the most advanced but also inspiring solutions globally for empowering young minds to become the future leaders and change makers our world needs, basically.
So please tell us why do you do what you do?
Okay, why do I do what I do? I'm asking myself the same question every day. And I think there are basically two sides to that. There is rather, the personal side of it, and then there is kind of the more common sense side of it. So the personal side, honestly, I've never felt more alive than I do now. Of course, being an entrepreneur, we both know it, and steering the global community is not always easy. But I have to say that, when I see the impact we make to the life of young people, when I hear, all the feedback from them, how they grow, how they, develop throughout our programs, what they've learned, it really gives me energy every day. I just really sincerely believe that each and every one of us has what it takes to make a difference. And the only thing that we need is to dream big, to, find out what we are good at, what we are passionate as individual. And then, of course, not be afraid to just move forward, take an action and learn. Yeah. And like, I think we started Moonshot Pirates 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, something like that. The idea was born. And since then, we have worked with around 4,000 young people. And actually, last week, we have reached quite a cool milestone. We have reached a pirate, so a young person from 100th country in our community. And like, if I think about it, we have met 2019 was that, and Moonshot Pirates back then was at the very, very beginning. We have started with like a so-called boot camp, as we call it, which is like a 3-day event where 30 young people come together, meet with mentors, work on their ideas. And that fun was in Tainach, which is a small village in Carinthia. And now, if I look at it, we have a global community. We are running programs daily, and it's absolutely incredible also the amount of mentors that are coming into the game to support the young change makers. It's really crazy to think what happened in the past month. So personally, the personal kind of side for me is, uh, it's amazing to see that I, have contributed perhaps to person to a life of a young person, to help them figure out, what are their strengths, what are their passions, to help them gain confidence, for instance, and to really truly express who you are. That's absolutely wonderful. And then more kind of the common sense reason why we do what we do with Moonshot Pirate. I mean, we all know that our world is currently experiencing a severe change of how we lead our lives, how we work, and especially our understanding of work, for instance. One day I work from Vienna, the other day I work from I don't know, Bali, hopefully, or wherever. This was not imaginable for my parents, for instance. Also, the way we shape our daily routines, it's not anymore 9 to 5 jobs, right? Our tasks are changing, and the simple substance of the job is simply changing dramatically. And actually, I think there was a quote from Peter Diamandis, who's a co-founder of Singularity University and founder of Express, and he said something around that. Right now, we are living in incredible times, and the only constant is change, right? And the rate of that change is increasing every day, and that is so true. Life will never be as slow as it is today. So no matter what the young people will ultimately choose to pursue, what kind of career, what kind of path they will go, they will often need to adapt and innovate. And with this change, with such an accelerating change in our world, if we think of the job market today, many of the jobs that are here today won't exist in a couple of years, right? So there was a study done by, I think it was World Economic Forum, and they said by 2030, 2 billion jobs will be gone. That means that I think 2/3 of the current young people that are, in high schools now and primary schools, they will most likely end up following careers that and doing tasks even that don't even exist yet. So these kind of circumstances, if we think about it, create an extreme uncertainty for young people. but also, and I hope that everybody sees, whenever there is a challenge, there is also an opportunity, right? So this also creates an enormous potential for those who are ready to learn, and who are for those who are ready to embrace new skills such as creativity, analytical thinking, leadership, or resilience. So I truly believe that, most like if I look at myself as an entrepreneur, I truly believe that these kind of skills that I have just mentioned are acquired by entrepreneurs in a natural way, right? So by taking action, solving problems on a daily and hourly basis, by executing their own ideas, by working in teams, with different kind of people, and hopefully also by creating, solutions for the challenges that are out there. I really believe that everybody can gain those skills in a natural way. So again, sorry, long story short, why I do what I do. I simply want to look back at my life at some point and see that, I contributed to our society in a positive way, the way that I did not waste my life on things that are not important, on somehow pursuing a career that doesn't fulfill me and that doesn't contribute to society in a positive way. Yeah.
Okay, great. It's obvious that you're very passionate about what you do, and it's. I mean, it is a great project. So, what I'm really interested in, I mean, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I followed Moonshot Pirates a bit, and so when the pandemic hit, you were basically 100% offline events, I think, and also you had just your second or third event at that time. I think it wasn't more than that, so
Yeah.
it was really fresh.
Very
And
fresh.
so what happened actually? I mean, so we haven't been in touch. I don't know really
Yeah.
how your decisions were during that time, but I mean, I
Yeah.
was thinking like, okay, what's gonna happen to Moonshot Pirates? But
Yeah.
so what happened? How did you
Honestly,
do the transition, and how was the process?
as I said, in every challenge, there is an opportunity for everyone, right? We have had just two events, past as we were, on our role, because with the boot camps, what we are trying to do is similar. TEDx is giving licenses for them, TED is giving licenses to TEDx organizers. Our plan was the same, to give licenses to external organizers to organize their boot camps in the areas, so everything basically offline. The pandemic hit and we were like, okay, we are screwed or not. So we have decided to switch completely online for the time being, and it helped us enormously. I think it's really bad to say, because I know that for many people, many companies, the pandemic unfortunately wasn't very good. But for us, we wouldn't have been so global as we are now if the pandemic would not have hit us, and if we were not forced to switch our programs online. So immediately, basically, I think it was, I don't know, maybe it was Monday when they announced, okay, there's going to be this huge lockdown. On Thursday, we have launched our first webinar series, So it was super quick. We went out with webinars that were watched, I think, over 10,000 times. We have launched the so-called Be a Pirate Challenge, which is basically like our boot camp. So it's just for 3 weeks. Everything is online, and young people from all around the world come together to work on the global challenges. So right now we are running the second challenge. We have around 800 participants from 80 countries, which is also a challenge, to run like such a global community, to have such a diversity. But it allowed us to think beyond Austria, think beyond the borders, and simply open it up. We have launched a digital community that helps us to connect the mentors and pirates from all around the world. It helps us to give them the right content on a daily basis. And I think for us, it was good because, we were still a rather small team. When the pandemic hit, we were 3. Now we are 12. We have grown, during the pandemic, which usually doesn't happen. People are rather laying their stuff off. So I have to be grateful for what happened with us. Yeah, we worked it out. We saw the opportunity in the challenge.
Yeah, obviously. And you reacted very quickly. I mean, when you say
Yeah.
on Monday, there were the announcements on Wednesday, on Thursday, you had the first online session. And
Yeah.
I guess also that reacting in this quick manner was very crucial. It was a
Absolutely.
ultimate threat at the moment that from you had this, I think also you had this big offline event for a
Oh
week or
yeah.
something.
Oh yeah, we were planning a big festival. So I mean the good thing was that right at the moment where basically we didn't spend any money yet, but yeah, we were very lucky absolutely with that one.
This pandemic, like for many people, like it was a turning point for the personal life and also like for the business. In your case, definitely it's in you leveraged the moment to go online and it boosted your company. So I personally think that when people use these turning points in life for the advantage, it can really, really change something for a long
Yeah.
time in a very positive way. When you look back at your personal life, is there any turning points that you feel were really important that led you to where you are today?
I'm pretty sure that there are many. If I think of, for instance, something that is in collaboration with Moonshot Pirates, when I was young, I was this classical example of a good student. I believed that I need to get all the A's in order to, pass all the exams, in order to go to a good university, in order to get a great job, earn tons of money, will be successful, and so on and so on and so on, right? When I was 27, I was working. I mean, it kind of happened. I had it fairly easy in my studies, and then I got a job right after the university. And I was 27. I was working for a company, and at that time I realized like something is missing for me, something wasn't feeling right. I was like, holy crap, am I gonna do this for the rest of my life, and at that time, and back to TEDx, at the time I was also part of TEDx Klagenfurt, where I was basically leading the branding team. And you know, being part of that community, and during that time, I have met so many amazing people who worked on extraordinary things, like crazy things, really out of this world things with purpose. Most importantly, there were many power women that I met who presented, on the stage. There was a 19-year-old girl who was training to become an astronaut, one of the first person to go to Mars. There was a woman who was building a next generation of human interface machines. There was a girl who traveled basically every country in the world, and so many others, not only the women. And for me, I was, sitting there and watching them every talk, and I was like, holy crap, like the spark that they have in their eyes when they were presenting their ideas. This is something that I was missing for myself, And I simply was asking myself then, what what happened, right? What happened to me that I'm here and I'm just watching those incredible women, and then I go back to my work, but where I am not, content with what I'm doing. And basically that was also the moment when I decided to quit my job and actually start working on something that makes me feel more alive, that contributes in a society in a positive way. And I was 27 back then. It took me 27 years, to figure out what I am good at, what I am passionate about. As you said, you can hear the passion in my voice. So together with my co-founder and also a life partner, Marco, we were, after that TEDx event, we were sitting and thinking, what if we had this opportunity like we have now, being in this TEDx environment where we were, surrounded by amazing network of incredible people, where we got the insights into entrepreneurship, into the new innovations and other social sciences. What if we would have this at a young age? What would happen if we had this back in high school or primary school? What would happen if we would have asked ourselves, what is our dream, or what are we passionate about? And that's basically where the idea of Moonshot Pirates was born, to help young people to find spark in their eye to think big and to simply succeed on their own terms while creating a positive impact in our world. Yeah, that's basically, I think, one of my turning points in my life. Yeah.
So when we look now at the people that you work with, it's people between 14 and 19, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, 14 and 19, yeah. So, I mean, that's a very crucial state in their life, and perhaps they haven't had the turning point by that time yet, most likely. But basically, you already at that stage, you prepare them for finding their purpose and doing something in life that they really love. My experience with turning points often is that people up to then, it's the first time when they actually start to question what is their purpose and what do they really want. They have a certain amount of experience by then, and they realize, like you just said, I don't really want that. Yeah, it's not fulfilling me. So basically, what you are doing is that you already prepare the people, the young people, in a way that they don't, as you said, don't have to spend a lot of time not knowing what they really want. So that's a great thing in itself. And now looking at what you said before, that 2 billion jobs will be gone in the next 10 years. So how do you feel like that you prepare the young people for this upcoming 10 years? So you guys, you do something very differently, something that is inspired by some of the most inspiring people of the world. But please give us a bit of an idea.
So basically at Moonshot Pirates, there are 3 main topics that we are focusing on. The first topic is moonshot thinking. That's also where our name comes from, right? So it's all about looking at yourselves. What are your big visions for life? What are your big goals? Try out things. Don't be afraid of failure. That's one of the things that, for instance, school unfortunately is not allowing. It's failure and learning from the failure. The second topic is we give young people an understanding of where the world is developing in terms of new technologies, exponential technologies such as AI, blockchain, robotics, 3D printing, and so on. It's not necessarily important that you become an expert as a young person in those technologies, but you do need to know what's coming, in order to be prepared for that. Now that you have learned about yourself and about, the technologies that are upcoming, what we believe also is important, since we are not here alone in our world, is to look at the challenges our world is facing currently, from the pandemic we are in right now to global warming, poverty, political situation, education, name it. And we believe that young people are the one that actually can start working on the solutions towards those challenges. So now comes the third topic, which is entrepreneurship, but in a sense of let's take action, let's create solutions towards those challenges. So in all of our programs, or in most of our programs, we give young people the opportunity to so we run out all of our programs out of school. It's either on site or online, and we give them the space, the tools and the network of people to start working on their own challenges. And by taking action, you learn those skills that you will be needing in the future. We always bring experts from the industry. So whether it is the online challenge we are running or the boot camps, they are always experts from finance side, from branding, from technology, coding, and so on, from social sciences, that are there to support the young people and to support them on eye level. This is very important for us. We want the young people to feel that they are, the superstars here in our program. They have the responsibility. They are now the entrepreneurs. We give them the chance, but they also need to take the action. And it's crazy, like, especially now what we see, working with this global community, like how they crave rules, how they crave guidelines, how, okay, I need to have everything written down, every step I need to do. No, this is, when you leave school, there won't be any guidelines for your life. Now it's the time to figure out yourself. And it's really interesting to see, how some of the young people react to it. But, once they go through our programs, it's really, really nice to see them grow. So, yeah.
How do you, like, now you do this for 2-3 years and worked with a lot of young people. Is there something that has changed in your perception about life, about young people? Or is there something you say, hey, that's something I really learned I didn't know before working with young people so intensively?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if I think about myself when I was 15, what I was doing, what my problems were back then, and I compare it to the young people we work with, wow, they don't stop surprise me with the talents they have, how smart they are. Every time we come on the bootcamp, I see them working on the laptops with tools I've never seen before. For instance, coming up with crazy ideas. Like, I can give you an example. For instance, like last challenge, we had 15, 19 to 19 years old guys who were working on an underwater drone that was collecting the treasure. We had a group that was working on a camera, or like an earplug for blind people to tell them what's happening around them. These kind of ideas, like, when I was in their age, I didn't I didn't know what 3D. I mean, back then 3D printing probably didn't exist, but it's really crazy how talented they are. And if you give them the purpose, if you show them that you trust in them, if you believe in them, hey, they are ready to surprise you very positively. So, yeah.
So connected to that question also, I really wonder, I mean, you along the lines have said a lot about that by now, but explicitly I'd like to ask you what paradigms you really think need to be challenged in the world today, in education, in entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So many Xerxes. So many. First of all, I believe that we need to start learning for ourselves, not our parents, not our teachers, not to impress or to pass tests. We need to reinvent the relationship we have towards education. We need to see it as something positive, as something that helps us grow, not as something that is stressful or painful. So that's definitely one thing. And with that, what is connected is and I believe that needs to change, is the grading system. Simply, if you think of it, we are training our young people to fear failure from the very young age. We are grading for what you can't do instead of what you can do. Instead of saying and pointing out, wow, you knew 80% of all the things that I asked, that's amazing. Wow, you have formulated your answer in a way that I have never thought about. So I think and strongly believe that the grading system needs to change in terms of, let's embrace what are the positive sides rather than the negative sides. And, looking at our education, I mean, a lot of things have changed, obviously, but still what I believe it's not done yet properly is that we are not focusing enough on individual strength of the people, right? Imagine if we would really find what each individual student is good at, what they're passionate about, and if we would hone those skills instead of learning this again for a test that you will forgot all the answers while you hand it in, right? If we would instead focus on the individual strengths and passions and simply say, okay, hey, you are really good at, I don't know, sciences, and let's focus on sciences. You might not have to know, I don't know, who wrote what in literature. Let's focus what you are good at. Then I think it would be incredible. And we would have people who are really strong in their own environment. So yeah, and plenty of other things. I mean, one of them is definitely a definition of success. Again, when I shared my story, I consider myself as a successful student. I had all once, got a good job, blah blah blah, but success nowadays, it's not only about money or the position that you get in a company. I think it's important to be content with who you are, to do something that you're really passionate about, to do something that you love. Yeah. So basically that.
One question I'm very interested, a bit personal, and it just came up. So you're becoming a mother now. Did this change anything for you in the way you perceive what you're doing right now, or how you want to do things, or anything?
Wow. I mean, I don't know. It's I don't think it really changed something. I think it even made it stronger, simply the feelings that, we need to create an environment for young people that allows them, to thrive personally and professionally. We, in my opinion, we need to stop this, teacher-student relationship. Instead, what would happen if we all work together, on eye level, and most importantly, we need to create an environment where we let the young people to decide for themselves, to trust in them and to simply support them in whatever they do. Yeah, I don't know, becoming a mother, I think it just made all of this feeling stronger. So I really hope that we can create an educational environment where young people can find their passions and simply go their own way and become, the change makers of tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that your project does contribute to that. So, yeah. Annette, it was a great pleasure to talk to you. It was a very inspiring conversation. And I thank you for being here and wish you all the best. Have a good day.
Thank you, Xerxes. It was lovely to be here. Have a good day too.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you for staying tuned for this edition of Challenging ParadigmX. If you like this episode with Aneta Londa, feel free to share it with your community so Anet's message gets spread even further. In the show notes, you will find the links to connect and find out more. Please hit subscribe and rate my podcast if you liked it. I'd also be glad if you write me a review. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me. Next week, we're up with another edition of Challenging ParadigmX. Until then, I wish you a great week.